All right, what is good, y'all? We are doing a trade recap today because last night I ended up smacking a pretty fat trade, a 20K day across my 5 top step accounts, 4K per account. So I thought I would just hop on here and do a quick trade recap for you guys, for those who are wondering why I took the trade, why I traded Asia, why I executed, why I added in, all that, etc. So here is just proof of execution, proof of P&L. But with that being said, let's hop on TradingView and explain why I took the trade. Okay, so I kid you not, bro, I was plotting on taking this trade since like Friday's market close. It was setting up so beautifully. I was like, bro, I am not going to miss this trade. This shit is free money. So let's just kind of get into the higher time frames, what I was looking at. So as you see, right, we are in very clear high time frame bullish structure. In my opinion, this move we had earlier on last week just kind of gave me confirmation that we would be seeing higher prices in weeks coming, I believe, to target these highs up here, these highs. This kind of move we had last week confirmed the idea of overall higher prices, right? And we got a even more so confirmation last Thursday when we put in this low into this 4-hour gap and this daily right here, right? Very clearly, we are having a uptrend towards highs. And what is the most ideal conditions to trade? When we are in a trending market. Beautiful. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to get my lick and I'm going to bank on this shit. So this is what NQ was looking like going into the week, going into Sunday open. We had this big 4-hour gap right here, and we had this low right here, right? So I was kind of telling myself this case scenario. So let's just look at the daily here, and I want to ask you guys this one thing, right? After looking at this daily wick, would you expect price to go down and re-sweep this wick we put into the daily before delivering to this weekly high up here? In my opinion, no. I believed that this daily wick was a protected low and we would not go down and re-sweep it before delivering. So with that in mind, what is going to be the main condition that will propel price and will push price higher? Granted, well, at least I don't know this for certain, obviously, but I had a very good feeling that this would be the low we put in and we are not going to go down and re-sweep that. So with that in mind, what is going to be the area that price will deliver from? It is going to be out of this 4-hour gap right here. So literally since last Friday, I was telling myself, if we get a open lower off like the Asia open, we open lower into this 4-hour gap and see a reaction. Obviously, I'm not just going to take the trade like instantaneously, but if I see some type of wick, if I see some price slowing down in this 4-hour gap, I will take my execution here. And it was, again, it was not really a too complex trade. You guys think I'm fucking standard deviation, bottom ticking, CISD, like no, like none of that, bro. It was solely based off the fact that I believed this was going to be a protected low and this 4-hour would deliver price to this weekly high at just some point throughout today's session on Monday, right? Or Sunday. So with that in mind, off open, let me just go to Asia open really quick. We did exactly that. We opened lower into this 4-hour gap, and let's just play that out. Boom, we opened lower, and essentially I was just kind of telling myself, okay, we are now playing in this gap, and if I'm able to get at least pretty good RR, as long as my stop loss is in a protected spot, then I will very gladly just execute this trade because, again, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I am simply banking on the fact that this 4-hour gap is going to hold and will propel price higher. So I believe my exact fill was 056. My first fill was 056. So let's just look at that on the 5-minute time frame. Is kind of when I executed the trade. Come on, bro. But it was 056. So yeah, obviously I saw kind of price slowing down here, and then boom, we get a pretty clean flip. So it looked like this, and then obviously, right, my stop loss is just protecting this 4-hour gap, because if I'm simply wrong, if my bias is wrong, price is going to go down like this, get a 4-hour close, and then we would most likely go down to my low. So that is really, again, how all stop loss should be placed. If it should be in a point where if price goes there, the entire trade idea is invalid, right? If price were to go down here, most likely we're going to go down and re-sweep that daily low. So that is where I placed my stops. Again, not going for an insane RR trade, not trying to fucking bottom tick. It was almost a 2R. Yeah, I risked like around $2,000 on this trade to make $4,000 per account. So risking 2K to make 4K, so 1 to 2R. And the reason why I was able to squeak a little bit more profit out of this is because I did add into the position. So let me show you where I added into my position. So let's just peep on the hourly here. So let's just, my initial entry is right here. 056. Initial entry is right here. Just keep that in mind. And then obviously I'm not going to add in when we are still kind of in this bottom section of this range. I will add in once we get that confirmation that fully confirms my idea is correct. And what is that? Most likely an hourly close or some type of 15-minute displacement candle to the upside, confirming that this is going to be the low we put in for the day. So I was essentially just waiting on that. And what do we get? Literally the next candle. Come on. Exactly that. So after seeing this candle, that was kind of my cue to be like, all right, my trade idea is confirmed. Let's see if I can add into this position and just add on to my winner, because I had a very strong feeling that this trade would not fail after this hourly candle closure. So with that in mind, I simply just added into my position once we tapped into this hourly. I believe my add-in was right around here. It was not a heavy add-in because obviously I was not trying to aggressively trail my stop losses. I mean, I was not aggressive trying to trail my stop, but my initial entry point was with 6 micros down here. I added in 1 more micro on this wick down, and then I also added 1 more micro on this leg on this retracement right here. So my kind of entries look like this. Boom. 056 right here, added in on this wick right here, and then added in on this retracement right here. Oops, it was like right there. But again, right, are you guys seeing a kind of main principle here? It is really just taking advantage of a trending market. When we are in a trending market, like it is, I'm not gonna say it's fucking free money, but it is a lot easier to predict, right? I think we could all sit here and predict that this 4-hour gap is going to deliver price, right? Like you probably caught yourself saying, bro, I would put so much money that this should happen. It's like, that was me, bro. I was like, I would put so much money that we wick down to this 4-hour, and if we do, that shit delivers. And that was the same thing for the hourly here, right? If we wick down to this hourly, I'll place a lot of money that this is the deliverable that pushes price higher. So initial entry, add an entry, and then added in on this 15-minute pullback. And I'm not gonna lie, I got fucking edged, bro. So this was at like I believe like 11 p.m. or maybe like midnight, something like that. I thought this shit was going to smack while I was awake, but we ended up edging that shit by 25 points and then going back down into the hourly. So I just ended up adding into my positions here, and at this point it was like 2 a.m. And I was like, bro, like I'm going to bed. Like I thought we were going to deliver here, but it was like 2 a.m. I was going to bed, and my stop loss was, and with all the add-ins, my stop loss ended up trailing to this 4-hour body wick. I mean, this 4-hour body right here. So after all the add-ins, my stop loss was now at this 4-hour body low. And I still had a lot of conviction that we were going to deliver just because of this wick we put into the hourly here. So yeah, that was kind of just the main basis on this trade, kind of just taking advantage of a trending market and just solely placing my bet that this wick we put into that daily is protected. We're not going to rescrape that. Therefore, what is going to be the obvious, kind of like the obvious area we're going to deliver out of this 4-hour. Then so just wait for some type of reaction. Took my entry, played a big stop loss to ensure to ensure if we do go lower, I'm still protected. My stop is covering the 4-hour gap if we were to go a bit lower. And then yeah, just kind of add in as my trade gets more confirmed. Added in with this wick into this hourly, added in on this 15-minute pullback, and ended up hitting that shit for 4K per account. And we ended up delivering at like low-key not too far after I went to bed. Like I went to bed. And then woke up this morning to a beautiful notification of take profit being hit. So that is a trade I took last night. Typically, I don't trade Asia, but when we have very obvious opportunities like this, where I was willing to place a lot of money that this gap is going to hold and we're going to deliver higher, I am willing to take that risk and I'm willing to take that execution. just because at the end of the day, right? I trade to draw on liquidity, and if I get the opportunity to take a pretty clear play where I truly believe it has a good chance of playing out either in Asia, London, New York, whatever it is. Like, again, I didn't know it was going to play out during London session or overnight. I was simply just playing the fact that it would play out at some point today, and gladly I was able to wake up to a nice notification. But that is why I took the trade. Again, just fucking taking advantage of clear market structure. Very clear market structure, not really too complicated, not some insane bottom tick, just using some logic. And you might say it's a bit risky, but at the end of the day, if you're fucking scared to take a trade you have conviction in on a funded account, like, you might be fucked, right? Like, you generally might be fucked. So I smacked this shit with good size, risking 2K per account, and got a nice 1 to 2 out of it. So that is the trade. That is the trade recap. That is why I took it. Those are my add-ins were. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, it was not like an extremely complex trade. It was just taking a loose reaction out of a 4-hour. I'm just trying to think if there's any other sauce I can drop, but not necessarily that I can think of. Again, it was a really simple trade. So with that being said, if you guys want to see me make a video on anything this week, either it's like a vlog or just anything of that nature, let me know in the comments. I'll gladly go over the comments, and if you guys have any goated ideas, I'll maybe make that video. So with that being said, join the free Discord if you have not already. It is the first link in the description. And if you guys want accounts with Alpha Futures, code JACK will give you the biggest discount. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.